This is the opening of the croquet club at St.Andrews, second run.
Today is Saturday, the 11th of April, and this is the official opening of the Northampton Croquet Club at St.Andrews Lawn. There is the Hospital of St. Andrews in the background. John Anstey playing, watched by Rosemary. Robert Fulford coming over to take his shot. And a wonderful hit. And there in the background is the new club hut. With Mr. Seeger busy putting plants in the window. Some appreciative spectators, including John Anstey, chairman of the club, Nick Clark on his left, Brian Hallam, Melissa, and Lionel Tibble. Oh, I've got Nick Fulford and Robert Fulford and Chris Clark taking their ease after winning the match against Brian Hallam and John Anstey. And on the side there, Philip Shaw and Linda Hicks. In the background, the clubhouse and a number of members and friends. In that group, John Anstey moving forward with Rosemary, Bill Seeger, Joan Simpson, Bill Simon, and Audrey Billingham. Coming out of the hut is Irene Deborah, Eric just inside, disappearing out of sight. Norman Hicks there, talking to Bill Seeger. Sitting, taking their ease, Mary Hewitt, past club chairman, Joan Simpson, talking to Irene Deborah. Just arriving, John Handy and his wife. Mr. Kennedy in Panama hat and two guests arriving for the grand opening at 12:30. Mr. Kennedy is the administrator of St. Andrews. John Anstey, opening ceremony.
To address you now, but only once we're got you all into a reasonable line. I would like to welcome you all, if I may make so bold, is to our bit, shall we say, of the hospital this morning, and to say how very grateful indeed we are to the hospital for accommodating us here. I think that every single member of the club has been as excited and as thrilled as I have the first time they've seen this setting, and as we've seen it change from rough but ornamental lawn in front of the hospital into... Everybody told me from the time I first began playing croquet in Northampton that this was the place where we really wanted to be above all. And now we're here, I'm thrilled, and I know that every other member of the club to whom I've spoken is thrilled as well. And I repeat, we are extremely grateful to the hospital for all the tremendous help they've given us in setting it up. We're also very, very pleased indeed to welcome Chris Clark and Robert Fulford, who have been ferried over from Colchester, the current two best players in the world, to show us how it should be done. And I must tell everybody that should they make any mistakes in playing this afternoon while demonstrating to you, this is for two reasons. One is because it would be terribly boring if they went straight round as they could every time. And the second is that despite the fantastic efforts of Bill Seeger, the groundsman, to get everything into position in time, there are one or two slight imperfections which may just put off even the best player. So, for those two reasons, they will not necessarily do everything perfectly this afternoon. We are then formally to cut the ribbon and to declare the new premises open.
Majesty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to St. Andrews on a great day for a great occasion. I think having croquet lawns in front of this marvellous hospital is sort of puts the icing on the cake. It's taken rather longer than many of us would have wished to get this relationship going between us, but now you're here, you are very, very welcome. We're indebted you too for your offer to give coaching to the staff and particularly to patients. That is a very generous offer. There is one small print which you probably haven't read. The only rules allowed to be played here are my rules. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're looking forward to a long and happy and close relationship between the Northampton Croquet Association and St. Andrews Hospital, bringing in this game which has been played since about the time the hospital was built. So it's very fitting that you end up in Northampton on the lawns of St. Andrews. Without further ado, here, Doodle. But it has taken a rather long time. You know what? Well, maybe I'll give it
Following the opening ceremony, lunch was provided, Doreen being the chief caterer, and guests are here seen enjoying their buffet.
Because he was chaplain of the Abbey when I was, he was chaplain of the Abbey when I was speaking of the Abbey. It was in the snow. Receiver General. And therefore there was a nonsense. I had no idea.
Cliff Jones and Robert Fulford in discourse in front of St. Andrews Hospital. What a marvellous building. What a lovely grounds. The club is so lucky to have found this location. Prospective member, Dr. Fenny. Beyond him, Gary Norman from the East Midlands Croquet Federation. Bob and Muriel Williams of members. Ron Hallam chatting to Mr. and Mrs. Kennedy.
I'm just going to try and give you a simple commentary so that you can understand what's happening. I'm not going to give you all the ins and outs, so don't worry about that. Okay, the first thing that happens in singles is you toss a coin, and whoever wins has a choice of either going in first or second, or they have choice of the colours. And
Robert on the top, the check going.
Robert is the one a bit further away from you, and this is Chris close to you. Robert won the toss and decided that he would like to go in first.
Yeah.
So that meant that Chris had the choice of colours. You can either play with red and yellow together, or black and blue. Just let me, just for 2 minutes, tell you the idea of the game, and then I'll tell you about each shot as it goes on. As you notice, we've got 6 hoops on the ground, and what you have to do, you have to go through with both balls, so black and blue, you have to go through with both the balls, all the way around the 6 hoops, and all the way back again in the opposite direction. So that means 12 hoops altogether, and then hit the peg in the centre, the coloured peg in the centre there, with both balls. The first one to do that, in turn obviously, wins the game. That's it. That's the object of the game, that's how simple it is. What I'll do is, when they've got going, because the first few shots are this line here to the centre, and basically they're both going for, believe it or not, the hoop with all the clips on. The clips will tell you which hoop they're actually on. So the hoop, the blue-topped hoop there with the clips on is the first hoop, and they need to go through it away from us. However, because they're both good players, they don't want to give each other any advantage, so they're starting to go with their first ball next to the top right-hand corner over there. So Robert has chosen to start over there. As I say, the first few shots are fairly unusual because you're getting all the balls off. Once they get going, it'll be easy for you to understand that, I think. Okay, basically, I presume he aims for the black, I don't know. Okay, this is by a fraction there. A long way for a world champion, fraction for me. Right, now our 4 balls are on, I can now tell you the normal sequence of shots. Robert's it's now his go, it's the end of his go. If he hits another ball like he has done, he can then, any ball that goes off, in most circumstances, comes back a yard in. So you'll notice he's putting it a yard in there. Of course, he's starting off now with a very complicated shot that only advanced players do, just to confuse the commentary here. So I'm just going to let him take this. I'm not really going to explain the ins and outs of this particular shot until he's finished. But the basic idea is, once he's hit a ball with his blue, he then picks his blue up and puts it next to the ball he's just hit. And then he has 2 shots. One must move both the blue and is next to the yellow, so blue and yellow there.
I'll get the red nib. Get the red nib to black.
Okay, once he's done that, he has then what's called a free shot. Now what happened was, with that free shot, it hit the red. So you're going with the yellow, it hit the red immediately, so it now picks the ball up, puts it next to the red. It'll be clearer when he's not taking such a clever shot. What he wants to do is get to this hoop over here, remember? Okay, so once he takes this shot, he has 2 left. The first shot he can hit the black with. Then he can pick the blue up and put it next to the black wherever the black ends up. So hopefully the black will end up near hoop 1. That would be the ideal. There we go. Okay, now I can pick the blue up, well, rolls in the black. You can only do that once, unless you go through a hoop. So what he's going to try and do now is get himself in front of the hoop. Remember, he has 2 shots, so he's going to try and get through the hoop now. If he goes through the hoop, he can then use the other 3 balls again. Right, goes through the hoop. Now he's actually hit the black the other side. So now let me tell you the sequence. He picks his ball up, puts it next to the black. He has now 2 shots. The idea is he wants to go up to hoop 2, which is the one in the left-hand corner at the top there, and he wants to go from us away. Right, when you put the ball next to each other, you have 2 shots. That's the first shot. He now can hit the yellow, pick his ball up, put it next to the yellow, and he has 2 more shots. So obviously he's going for hoop 2, so he'd like yellow to be as close to hoop 2 as it can be. So now pick the blow up and put it next to the yellow. He now has 2 shots. The first shot will try and put yellow near the hoop so that when he goes through he can use it again. But what's most vital is blue stays in front of the hoop here. Now he's going to try and go through the hoop. Well, he will go through the hoop. Should I predict anything? Yes. Now, when you go through the hoop, you're allowed to go off the ball. See whether you're going to try and do it. What he's going to try and do is leave yellow near hoop 4, which is the hoop after next. So he's thinking 2 hoops ahead. At the same time, he wants to go to the red. So remember, he's got 3 shots. First to hit the red to his hoop, which is hoop 3, top right hand. And then he has 2 shots. One to set it up, one to go through. Now he's in quite a good position because he's got a hoop next. He's got a ball next to the hoop he's going through, and he's got a ball waiting for him at hoop 4. Okay, 2 shots. First shot to get in front, second shot to go through the hoop, then he can use all 3 balls again. Okay, after hoop 4, when he's come down here to hoop 4, hoop 5 is the red one going away from us. So before he gets to hoop 4, he wants to try, as far as possible, to leave a ball around hoop 5, and he may even leave a ball around hoop 6, which is the one in the middle, a bit further away. And maybe he's thinking at least 3 hoops ahead, because he's getting more control of all the balls, in the sense that they're actually being put where he wants them to be. So he's leaving red somewhere near hoop 5, which is this hoop in the middle here going away from us. He's now hit the black, so he's got 2 shots, remember. First one, he takes the blue, puts it next to the black. And then 1 continuation stroke. So with this one, he wants yellow to end up somewhere, blue to end somewhere near yellow. Because he's coming down to the yellow, we use it to go through the hoop 4. He'd like to have been a bit closer than that, I know, but that shouldn't worry you. Only my commentary will worry you. Okay, he now wants to go through hoop 4. So, 2 shots. One to put blue in front, at the same time putting yellow this side. Second shot to go through the hoop, and now he can use all the balls again. Okay, after hoop 4, he's going to hoop 5. Well, he's already got 2 balls waiting for him. After hoop 5, he's thinking of hoop 6, which is the other middle one, going away from us at the top there. So it'd be nice if he could get yellow as a pioneer to hoop 6, at the same time going to the red ball. Okay, well that's quite reasonable enough. Once he hits the red, he's got 2 shots. And basically what he'll probably try and do is go to the black, use the black to set himself up in front of the hoop. Hits the black, he's now got 2 shots. First he picks the blue up, puts it next to the black. This shot, blue in front of the hoop, black somewhere behind the hoop. Blue through the hoop. He can now hit both balls, so you'll start with black. Okay, stop just a second. Right, after red to go somewhere up near yellow. He then, you remember he's got 2 shots now. Picks blue up, puts it next to red. Red wants to be a pioneer next to 1 back. At the same time, he wants to be just the other side of yellow with his shot, so he can hit yellow back towards his hoop. There we go, pioneer. Next to 1 back. Wants to hit yellow for his hoop. Now he's in the position that I tried to explain a few minutes ago. He's got 2 pioneers, 1 at 1 back, 1 at 2 back, and 1 he's got next to his hoop. What he's trying to do all the time is not just get to his next hoop, but try and make it as easy as possible in the future. Okay, goes through the hoop, he's now going to hit yellow. Now, are you playing advance? Right. When you get to this standards, the Croquet Association have put in a couple of extra rules, because what people used to do is go all the way around, leave your opponent in an impossible situation, you miss, and then go all the way around again and win. So they decided that was a bit too easy for these people, so they made an extra rule, and that is, if you go through this particular hoop he's going to go through now, then your opponent can lift, when he sees it go, can lift their ball and start it anywhere along the left-hand edge here or the top right-hand edge over there. Okay, well, he's gone through 1 back, he's now looking to put a pioneer at 3 back. 1, 2, 3. 3 back is this one on the right, bottom right here, going away from this. Hits the yellow.
Chris Clark taking his shot.
Okay, he's missed. Blue is the